For as long as you can remember, you've probably noticed that you pick things up much faster than those around you. Whether it's grasping complex ideas or quickly adapting to new information, your brain works at a different speed. While others are still struggling with concepts, you're already a few steps ahead. And while they accept things at face value, you're already dissecting the logic, thinking deeper, and finding patterns that others miss. It's not about superiority, it's just how your mind operates. People with exceptionally high IQs don't process the world like most others. And if you've ever felt like your mind is constantly running ahead, always processing more information and seeing things that others don't, it's because your brain is wired differently. It's not simply about being smart, it's about experiencing the world in a way that's entirely unique. High IQ individuals have distinct psychological patterns that most people never develop. These patterns are not random quirks, they are fundamental aspects of how their brains process and interact with the world. If you've ever felt like you think in ways that are just different from those around you, these patterns will confirm exactly why. They explain why you may often feel isolated, misunderstood, or simply out of sync with others. These psychological traits aren't learned or taught, they're intrinsic to how people with high IQs experience reality. So let's dive into these 7 patterns that define the way your mind works.
The first one is pattern recognition everywhere. The first pattern that stands out is the ability to see connections everywhere. While most people might see a series of unrelated events or situations, high IQ individuals are constantly looking for patterns, connections, and underlying systems. A missed opportunity, a random conversation, or even a casual interaction can trigger a cascade of connections in their minds, linking seemingly unrelated things together. Their minds are always scanning the world, subconsciously processing information that others aren't aware of. This is what allows them to link disparate events in ways that seem impossible to others. For example, when 3 different people bring up the same problem, high IQ individuals are already thinking about the solution, or at least forming a hypothesis about what's going on. It's not magic, it's just a mind that processes information at a higher rate, drawing conclusions from connections that others miss completely. Once this pattern recognition becomes a part of their thinking, it's almost impossible to turn off. Even when they try to relax, their minds are still working, still connecting dots, which can lead to a sense of mental fatigue. People might call them paranoid or obsessive, but it's simply a heightened awareness of the world around them, a way of seeing connections that most people never develop. The second one is the relentless need to understand the why. The second pattern involves a relentless need to understand the why behind everything. This pattern is linked to the mind's need to build comprehensive mental models that make sense of the world.
High IQ individuals don't just take things at face value. They need to understand why something works the way it does and how everything fits together. When they're told something works in a certain way, their first instinct is to ask, why? But once they get an answer, they often ask, why does that explanation work? Their minds don't rest until they have a deeper understanding of the system behind the information. This is a drive to deconstruct and comprehend the underlying mechanisms of how things operate. Surface-level explanations aren't enough, and this often leads them to challenge the assumptions that most people accept without question. This pattern is the foundation of critical thinking and innovation. High IQ individuals don't simply follow the rules. They analyze them, question them, and, if necessary, break them down to see if they still hold up. For them, blind obedience feels like intellectual imprisonment. They need to understand the logic behind everything they're told, and if that logic doesn't make sense, they'll question it thoroughly. This drive for deeper understanding isn't about stubbornness, it's about the need for clarity, logic, and coherence in everything they encounter. Teachers and managers may find this challenging, but in the long run, it's what leads to real innovation. The third one is thinking several steps ahead. The third pattern is thinking several steps ahead in nearly everything. High IQ individuals don't just focus on the immediate consequences of their actions. They automatically consider the long-term effects, the potential failures, and the contingencies that others wouldn't even think about. It's like playing a mental game of chess where each move is analyzed and its potential outcomes are mapped out in advance. While most people focus on the present moment and immediate results, high IQ individuals are already 5, 10, or even 20 steps ahead. This strategic depth allows them to stay calm during high-pressure situations. When others are panicking about what might go wrong, their minds are already calculating the most likely outcomes and preparing for them. It's not about anxiety, it's a natural way of managing uncertainty. By the time they take action, they've already thought through countless scenarios, mentally rehearsed potential outcomes, and prepared for failure points that others haven't even considered. But this constant mental processing isn't always visible to those around them. To an outsider, it might seem like indecision, as the high IQ individual seems to take longer to make decisions. But in reality, their mind is just running through multiple possibilities, making sure all bases are covered before taking the next step.
The fourth one is the need for solitude. The fourth pattern is the need for solitude. High IQ individuals often find that their minds are constantly processing information, and without enough time alone, they feel overstimulated. Their brains are always working, whether they're analyzing conversations, processing new information, or working through problems. Solitude becomes essential for them to maintain mental clarity and focus. In crowded, noisy environments, or during social interactions that lack depth, they become mentally fatigued as their brain struggles to process multiple inputs simultaneously. It's not about being antisocial, it's about protecting their cognitive space. They need quiet to allow their minds to organize the chaos they're constantly absorbing. Small talk, surface-level conversations, and social noise are mentally draining. In contrast, meaningful and deep conversations recharge their mental energy. The need for deep, authentic connections drives them to seek out solitude when they can't find the kind of interaction they need. They don't want to reject people, they just have a different requirement for mental engagement than most others. The fifth one is an innate drive to solve problems. The fifth pattern involves an innate drive to solve problems, even when nobody asks. High IQ individuals are naturally inclined to identify inefficiencies and flaws in systems, processes, or ways of thinking. They can't help but notice what's wrong and think about ways to fix it, even in situations where no one else has expressed a problem.
This problem-solving instinct becomes a form of mental play. They enjoy finding solutions to things that others might overlook. This drive to optimize and improve the world around them is not about recognition or praise, it's simply about the satisfaction of solving a puzzle. When they notice a flaw, their mind immediately starts brainstorming ways to fix it. However, this drive can lead to frustration, especially when others don't recognize the same problems or don't care to fix them. High IQ individuals experience inefficiency like physical discomfort. It's an itch that demands to be scratched. This drive to solve problems can make them seem intense, but in reality, it's just how their brain operates. They don't understand why others don't see what they see, or why they're content to leave things as they are. The sixth one is brutal self-honesty. The sixth pattern is brutal self-honesty. When something goes wrong, high IQ individuals don't look for excuses or blame others. Instead, they conduct a thorough analysis of what went wrong and what they could have done differently. This self-reflection is part of their drive to improve continuously. They don't lie to themselves to make things easier or more comfortable. They face the truth about their actions and decisions head on. Their internal critic is relentless, holding them to high standards because they know what they're capable of. Mediocrity feels like settling for less, and high IQ individuals are always striving to surpass their limits. This constant self-analysis can be exhausting, as it means they're always under their own scrutiny. They know their weaknesses intimately, and they face them directly, constantly pushing for improvement.
While this drives personal growth, it also means they're often their own harshest critics, creating an intensity that might find overwhelming. The seventh one is managing energy rather than time. The seventh and final pattern is managing energy rather than time. Most people schedule their day based on time, but high IQ individuals schedule their day based on when their mind is sharpest. They recognize that mental energy is finite and understand that their most productive hours are better spent on deep, complex work rather than routine tasks. They've learned to protect their peak cognitive hours, using low energy periods for simple, less demanding tasks. This is not laziness, it's about working smarter, not harder. High IQ individuals understand that time is unlimited, but mental energy isn't, so they've learned to optimize their productivity by working when they're most mentally capable. This approach allows them to accomplish more in less time, using their cognitive energy in the most efficient way possible. The cost of these patterns. However, these cognitive patterns don't come without a cost. The constant awareness of gaps in logic, inefficiencies, and patterns that others miss can make high IQ individuals feel isolated. They often find themselves frustrated by conversations that feel shallow or disconnected from the deeper meaning they seek. The way they see the world can feel vastly different from how others experience it, creating a sense of detachment.
And explaining this way of thinking to others can be difficult, especially when others don't share the same cognitive framework. High IQ individuals often feel misunderstood, not because they think they're special, but because their mental reality is different. They are playing a different game with different rules, and most people don't even realize the game exists. Moreover, high IQ individuals don't seek external validation the same way most people do. They trust their own perception and analysis over the opinions of others. When they see something working in a way others don't understand, they trust their own insight, not the popular opinion. This can make them seem stubborn or unwilling to listen, but in reality, they're simply refusing to accept information that doesn't align with their own understanding. Once they've learned to trust their own judgment, it becomes difficult to go back to relying on external approval. If you recognize these patterns in yourself, it's clear that you're not just operating with a high IQ, you're navigating the world in a way that's different from most people. It's not about having credentials or being recognized for your intelligence. It's about how you use your mind to make sense of the world. The real question is whether you're protecting your focus, optimizing your energy, and surrounding yourself with people who understand your unique needs. Most people never figure this out, but those who do can harness their cognitive abilities to reach their full potential. If you found this insightful, don't forget to subscribe and join the community for more.